Hi, this is Mel Carson from Microsoft Advertising Community. We're here at Cannes Lions 2009. It's Monday morning, and I'm delighted to be joined by the co-founder of Twitter and the man with, I would say, probably the coolest name in digital, Mr. Biz Stone. How are you doing, Biz?
I'm well, thank you, Mel.
And what brings you to Cannes?
Well, I was invited by Hill & Knowlton, actually, which is interesting because they're a PR firm, and this is the very first year that PR has been invited to Cannes. But the reason I accepted the invitation is sort of twofold. One, because one of the things that we're going to be doing as a company moving forward is exploring some more of this commercial usage by big brands of Twitter, and what a better place to be than sort of all the world's biggest brands and their representatives collected in one place. And then personally, I think this is just a great place to be because so many creative people in one place is, it's hard to resist an invitation to that.
Yeah. A lot of people might not know, especially maybe in the mainstream media, that Twitter's been around for a number of years, but it's really only in the last 6 to 9 months that there's just seen this explosion of growth of usage. What do you put that down to?
Yeah, Twitter was founded in 2007, so as a company we're about 2 years old. As a product, we started experimenting and building a prototype in 2006, so we're almost 3 years old from that perspective. But the growth has been surprising and astounding, and I wouldn't attribute it necessarily to any one specific thing. It seems to be there's always something that's happening in the world that's helping us raise awareness of Twitter, and that can be anything from significant world global events to celebrity usage. People who have already a large fan base suddenly deciding that they love Twitter and telling all their fans about it. So we've seen it over and over again. Big conferences, big events, earthquakes, wildfires, political unrest, Stephen Fry, name it, you name it. All of these things contribute to a general awareness. And then, of course, there's just the natural organic growth of a service like Twitter, which is native to the web and to mobile phones, and it just grows organically.
So celebrity aside, you talk about awareness and big world events. Last week you put off an upgrade to the system because of the Iran election. What kind of goes on behind the scenes in order to make a decision like that?
Well, that decision was actually made in conjunction with our network partner, NTT America. We had actually put that particular upgrade off several times already, and for various reasons. And finally, it was decided, this is it, we have to do it. And unfortunately, it coincided exactly with events unfolding in Iran. So we announced that we were going to have this period of downtime, and there was just this explosion on Twitter of, you can't do this, this is not a good time. And so given the global visibility of this particular event, we had a conversation with our network partner, and we decided together that the best thing to do would be to postpone this maintenance yet again. And we did it, the following day, sort of in the middle of the day, US time, and got it done in half the time it took. So it ended up working out. But it was a decision made together with our network partner.
So given, how huge Twitter is in the marketplace, mainstream media, especially here, at the Cannes Lions, the International Advertising Festival, you've only got 50 people in the company. What's the culture like?
The culture is still emerging, but we're focused on it a lot because one of the things we worry about is like the child actor that finds success very early and then grows up to be a real freaky person. We don't want that to happen.
So you mentioned kind of monetization and talking to big brands because Comcast cares, JetBlue, Dell especially. I mean, that's been in the press recently. When you were kind of laying out the product roadmap, did that ever occur to you that big brands were suddenly going to use it for customer service and mining, sentiment and trying to make their products and services better?
Well, our original concept was just very simple, and what we've done is we've sort of left the door open to the unknown, and that's what's allowed for this emergence to take place, not just on the open platform and the APIs that we've exposed very early, but in these larger brands coming to Twitter and surprising us, frankly, in their very smart approach to it, using it kind of as a hybrid between customer service and marketing, finding just the right blend so that they attract more followers rather than lose them, because as you know, you have to opt in to follow an account, so that means that account has to be compelling. So when we see accounts like Whole Foods attracting almost 1 million followers and the number continues to go up, we know they're doing something that's interesting to their customers. So we saw this emerging, and this is sort of speaking to us as a possible revenue generating model going forward.
There's an awful lot of developers out there that have been creating incredible applications, desktop applications and everything. I was doing some research last night. There's an article on Mashable that has over 60 Twitter apps. Do you have any idea how many there are now, and do you have a favorite?
There are about 11,000 registered Twitter applications, and those are applications that have registered with Twitter to have a source parameter, which means that they can both write to and receive from Twitter, and they can basically do everything that Twitter can do. There are many more that haven't registered with us that are just based on the search APIs and things like that. So I'm a little fuzzy on what the real number is overall, but we know how many are registered. And yeah, I have a few apps that I really love to use. One of the apps that I really like to use a lot is a mobile app for my phone, which is called Tweety. And then there's another one called Sumizer, which is actually interesting because all it does is focus on the trending topics. It's not something that you necessarily use to post. And I think that's very interesting to look at. It's sort of perfect to use when I'm waiting in line or something, just to quickly check what are people talking about.
Yeah. Biz, it's been really great to meet you. Please doing what you're doing, because you have made a serious impact on the digital industry. We look forward to your chat later on this afternoon in the Debussy Theatre, I think it is.
Yes.
So if you're online, do follow it, because there'll be an awful lot of people tweeting from that, as you'd expect. Biz Stone, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Mel. Thanks for having me.